Hello and welcome to this video, and we're just waiting for a 5-minute game, and we've got one here against davorin here, and I'm gonna go with let's go with d5 today, and c6, and knight f6, and if bishop g5 then e6, bishop e7 to come, and h6. Okay, and just playing takes here. I think we need to take the e-pawn and then bishop e7. This threatens knight takes e4, so most likely we'll have knight takes f6, bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6 here, and then queen takes f6. Yep, we are getting this on the board, I think now. Okay, so I think black's fine here. I mean, white has good center pawns, but nothing concrete here. So probably just get castle. We could think about knight d7 first to try and go for a quick e5, since white is not ready to castle yet either. So something like e5 takes, knight takes, queen takes, and then, you know, things look good. But I think in this position here, if we play e5, white can probably just castle. So maybe just castles first and then looking to play e5 after that. I think e5 is better than c5. White can push for d5 here, but I think this is okay. Okay, so a lot of pieces coming off here. So rook e1, we have to think about where's the best spot for the queen. Maybe queen c5. Okay, so we have a choice here between h6 and g6. h6 is my first instinct, but g6 may be good, giving the king an escape square that he can actually use. I think that we'll try that, because if we play h6 we don't have an escape square that can be used. So white didn't go for rook e1, so I'm going to play rook e8 myself so that rook e1 can be answered by takes, and trading on e1 a couple of times, trading the queen for 2 rooks. And then I'm thinking about playing something like bishop f5, hitting the d1 rook, trying to induce a move like f3. Yeah, let's go for that, because I think f3 is good for black here. And if the rook moves up the board, then we can play probably rook a d8. Okay, he did play this move, which is good for me. I think I can now possibly think about queen c5, or just play bishop e6 first. Queen c5, queen d4 check isn't great for me, but just I think bishop e6 and then queen c5 in a moment. Yeah, I think that's fine. So queen c5 as an answer to rook e1. Okay, so the queen comes here. Rook a d8 looks good. I'm going to answer the queen c5 and answer to rook e1. We may be able to play bishop f5 actually here and just challenge this bishop. Although bishop f5 now, okay, so this doesn't threaten anything here, so I'm thinking bishop f5, and there's no real threats on here as far as I can see. So this looks good to me. We've always got queen c5 if we need to get off the e-file. So if bishop takes f5, queen takes f5, and I think black's doing fine. Don't think there's really anything going on here. White doesn't have the black squared bishop anyway, so now we've got possible ideas of playing rook d3 now to try and double here. So white doesn't allow that. So if rook e1, okay, so white wants to push on. White wants to push h5. I mean, if h5 comes quickly, we can actually take this off. So my idea would be to play. I mean, we can even think about queen c2, then h5. So leaving the queen here just for the minute actually stops that. So what about getting the rook here? If we get here, rook here may be good. Or rook here. Don't know if that's any better. Yeah, let's play rook e8. My idea of trying to get rook e8 is that then I can play moves like queen c5 check, and then queen e3 hitting the queen which sits on h6. Yeah, so let's go for that now. And now if queen here, if g5, if the trade comes, that's fine for us. If g5, then okay, so I think black's fine here. So white tries to stop the... Okay, so f5 doesn't seem to do anything. f5 sort of threatens g takes, actually. Yeah, let's try f5, because it kind of threatens capturing. Would you take this moment to get on the rook as well? Ah, okay, so that's not good there. Taking first is no good. That's a pain. Maybe this move, and then after takes we can pin and then take with the rook. Yeah, that looks nice. That's going to give us a nice pawn structure at the very least. So either king moves or we get to take this pawn with check. I don't know if this pawn structure advantage is worth much, but it's certainly okay. If rook d2, I'm going to go rook e7, king e7 rather, to just keep the rook out. And I'm actually keeping this king out of the position as well. So after the rook check, we'll bring the king up a bit. So if, okay, rook here, and again I think just king up a bit. Okay, king comes back. Ooh, okay, I think we need to bring the rook back here actually to look after the 7th rank. Okay, so we get a check there, but this is just capturable. I was thinking, I was having a moment of madness there. I was about to move my king. And our opponent wants to play another game, so we'll just go ahead and make a double video here, see if we can get a few more rating points. And knight f3. I'm going to play d4, and after cd, knight takes d4. And we're getting this position. I'm not sure what this is, like maybe this is a Kan or something. This is a spot where we can actually try and play c4 and get this Maroczy. So we'll jump in there and then we'll answer knight takes d4 with queen takes d4. Okay, so black wants to play bishop g7. I mean, this is a lot of pawn moves. The question is whether we can, do something about this. Knight takes c6 is one idea. Bishop takes c3 is also another idea. Let's try bishop e3. And maybe play something like knight takes c6 and then bishop d4. And then we just have a nice sort of centralized queen position. I'm going to try that. You can put this move in the way actually by taking the c3 knight first. Okay. So let's just continue with something normal looking. Bishop e2, I should think, if looks good. Maybe queen a5 is coming. Let's get our own king safe. We maybe have to play some stuff like f4. I mean, I think black wants to play d5 fairly soon. I think I might play e5 in response to that. Maybe c takes and then e5. That's also another idea, to try and get the open c file. Let's give that a whirl. Ah, okay, he goes for this. So let's just make sure that we're not winning any pawns here. After bishop takes f6, well, let's take e takes d5. If knight takes, bishop takes g7. There is a lot of pressure on this pawn actually. I'm gonna go with this. We'll just have another look at this in a moment. So what to capture with? Obviously queen takes is not possible, so choice of c takes. So it looks like after bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6, we then get to take on d5 with the knight. Then the bishop comes down to b2. So let's just look at that again. Bishop takes f6. If bishop takes f6, knight takes here. Bishop takes b2, rook b1. Not so sure about this. Not 100% sure about this. The other option is just to play bishop e5 now. But then after bishop e5, maybe even bishop c5, or maybe something like just bishop f3. Let's just try bishop f3, keeping things under control. This d pawn is just sitting here, potentially going to be permanently weak, so maybe we don't need to do this right away. Now, queen b3 is an interesting move. We're putting another piece attacking here, and we're also putting a queen on the thing. If rook b8, then we've actually got potentially bishop a7. I'm going to go for this. I'm not 100% sure, again. Black's got a big time advantage, but the general gist is to gang up on the d pawn, which is blockaded. This bishop has to be guarded now with either rook b8 or something like queen d7. And then the question is whether we can get away with taking on f6 and then taking this pawn here in the middle of the board. Okay, so that's certainly one option. So bishop takes, knight takes. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to go for this. I'm not 100% sure. It's definitely interesting. So now something like bishop here, bishop c3, bishop takes c6. If takes, then knight takes or queen takes. I think we're going to go for this now. If rook b8, we have just queen to c4, which looks okay. Okay, so this was, we were going to play queen c4. So if bishop takes d5, we have knight takes d5. Then the knight is in a good position. I think we might not be winning a pawn here, but I think my position's okay. So at the moment the threat is just bishop takes c6. So. And if bishop, okay, so you're winning. Well, this knight can come here though, right? So, okay, that's very interesting. So knight takes b5, ab, queen b2. That looks okay for me. I think I'm then a pawn up. So let's go with that. Okay. So queen b3 is my first idea. And we've got opposite bishops. That's the main reason why I think black's probably going to be fine here anyway. But something like rook to d1 here, threatening the f7 pawn and winning the queen on d8 looks interesting. And otherwise, I think we're okay. Okay, so we're definitely going to try and go for that now. Not sure which rook. I think we're going to play the f rook, maybe play the a rook to c1. But it's hard to know which rook needs to go there. So king g7 probably looks good, but I mean you have to move the queen really now anyway, otherwise we just take this f7 pawn anyway. Okay, so this looks good. Now we can actually, that's interesting. So rook e1 takes b. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah. Do we just let this b pawn go and then have the b file? I'm not sure about this. Let's try and defend this. I'm gonna have to be a bit quicker. Maybe bishop f3 coming. Bishop f3, rook d8, bishop f3, taking on d1. So time is the real issue here. Time is the main issue. Okay, so what about this move here? Threatens bishop f6, also offers a trade of queens. And if not, then what? Queen g5, yeah, okay. h3 to give the breathing space. Bishop is, we're still looking at the bishop. Okay. Let's bring this bishop back and aim for rook to d5 now to try and get some pressure on the 5th rank. So in an ideal world we get rook here and then rook here. And I think we'd be willing to give up the b pawn for that. Okay, says no. Can we play this? We can still play this. Queen f4 will just capture, I think. So we have to be a little bit, this is obviously the mate threat that we need to be a little bit careful of. Alright, so that's opened the 7th rank, which is pretty interesting. I think we're going to go with this move, doubling here, and then if bishop takes b2, I think we have enough pressure on the 7th rank. we'll see. We'll see about that. But that looks good. Oh, looks good. I think white's in good shape if that happens. Okay, so let's go for d7 check. Oh, okay, interesting. H4 check. That doesn't quite work yet. Oh, time. Yeah, that didn't gain me anything actually. It lost me a lot of time, but didn't gain anything. So what do we want to try and do here? Rook e1. This pins the bishop again, which is good. A3 takes, that's okay. Yeah, let's get this trade off. Let's get a tempo on the bishop. I want to try and play bishop to D. Okay. Can we get F4 in? No. Let's get G3 so that I'm not worried about rook C1 check. It's king up. Okay, that's interesting. Now this check might win the bishop on E5. In fact, it does, so rook on the 7th is what we need now. Oh, okay. Try and get this rook here, rook on D4. Oof. Can't find any moves. Oof, just running on time there. Oof, okay. So just by way of a very quick recap of this second game, we managed to get a position where it looked like we were winning a pawn or getting at least an advantage. I think if black takes here, after knight takes f6, we're again... I think we may be getting an extra pawn here because there's another weak pawn on a6 which we're looking at. So I think white got a pawn advantage. Things were then pretty tense until around here. I mean, you know, we're definitely better here, and then we managed to have this tactic when black put his king on the same line as the bishop. We're then able to fork the king, but also the bishop's pinned, so we're material there. So having had a little bit more time, we would have, I'm sure, won positionally, but we just won on time. And by way of a review on the first game, I've just got the position on the board where black's played bishop g4. I think the position is pretty much equal. I think f3 is a slight concession. In this position, we were able to trade down. Black, if anyone, is slightly more active in my opinion, just because I think my queen's better. I think this queen isn't really doing anything. H4, H5 looks interesting, but I'm not sure it achieves much. And in this position here, trade of queen's pretty much forced. But again, I don't think there's much concrete. I missed king f4, but found this nice resource rook e7, so that after the capture we get to damage white's pawn structure. So black's probably still pretty much equal. And then again, just another one move blunder in a moment coming up here. This, I think maybe white had in mind that he'd played c5 or something. But yeah, just a one mover. But I think black's position is okay at this point in the game. Okay, thanks for watching.